YouTube, how are you now? So Call of Duty Black Ops 6 just released today, or is going to release later today for PC and Steam, Battle.net. So I figured I would put together another time to kill chart for the game, even though I didn't buy the game and don't plan on playing it. So all these stats were gathered by True Game Data, so big shout out to him. I'll leave a link to his website, truegamedata.com, in the description, because I'm going to be relying on him and people like him, like Exclusive Ace and Sim.gg, for the stats, since I don't actually have the game and don't plan on buying it. So keep it up to date. I'll have to rely on outside sources, but basically this is all the stats for the weapons, all the weapons in the game divided by their classes. So you have assault rifles, SMGs, LMGs, marksman rifles, sniper rifles. You got your aim down sight time, your sprint to fire time, your reload speed, bullet velocity, rate of fire, your damage for head and body. So this game doesn't have all the different multipliers for arms, legs, that kind of stuff, except for the sniper rifles. All the other guns is just head damage and then body damage. So a little bit more simple. And then your DPS and then your damage values for each range, 5 meters out to 100 meters plus. So these are all the stats for the weapons, and then we'll look at the time to kill. So this is your time to kill in milliseconds. So theoretical fastest time to kill if you're hitting every single shot at the fastest fire rate possible. Obviously, if you're missing shots due to recoil or enemy movement, that kind of stuff, it's not going to be these values, but this is your theoretical fastest time to kill possible in milliseconds. So your best time to kill is going to be in red. Your second fastest time to kill is going to be in orange, so within 50 milliseconds of the fastest time to kill. Within 100 milliseconds of the fastest time to kill is going to be in yellow. Within 150 is light green. Within 200 is dark green, so on and so forth. So ideally you want red, orange, yellow. You don't want these colors down here because that means they're not going to be very competitive. So I've sectioned it off by class. So assault rifles compared with assault rifles, SMGs with SMGs, LMGs with LMGs, so on and so forth, because they vary pretty considerably. So it's just compared within each class. So just look at each one. I do need to do the DPS, but do that later. So time to kill. So headshots don't really matter. We're going to be looking at body shots mostly. So for assault rifles, AK-74 is really good out to about mid-range. It falls off a little bit at that mid-range, but it's very small range, and then beyond that's the best at longer ranges. So fastest time to kill is 260 milliseconds for assault rifles to the body, so it's only within 16 milliseconds. Very good gun overall. The aims 85 is not that great, so it's not terrible. It's only 60 milliseconds slower than the fastest up close, but it's one of the only, it is the only assault rifle actually, or one of the only assault rifles that is over 300 milliseconds for up close, but at longer ranges it's better. So mid-range to long range it's better, but still not the best. AS Val is very good up close, so within 8 milliseconds of the fastest time to kill, and then very good at long range too, so very good overall. Very close to the fastest time to kill at pretty much every range. GPR 91, not the greatest, but still competitive, so it's still within 100 milliseconds at every range, but it's one of the slowest, actually the slowest up close for assault rifles at 336 milliseconds, so 76 milliseconds slower than the fastest out to 40 meters, and then still slower by what, 52 milliseconds, so not huge, but still not the greatest either when most of these are orange or red, so definitely not the best. Goblin MK2 is the fastest up close at 260 milliseconds out to 40 meters, but it's also the slowest fire rate, 462, so you have to be pretty accurate with your shots. It rewards accuracy, but if you're missing shots, the time to kill is going to jump dramatically. So like one more shot is 130 more milliseconds, so it falls out at mid-range, but still decent at long range, but if you're missing shots, it's going to be considerably slower. Model L, 300 millisecond time to kill is decent, so within 40 milliseconds, it's decent all around, so pretty much all of them are decent all around besides GPR 91 and the aims 85, but even then they're not terrible, so they still competitive, but not the best. So 300 milliseconds and then 375, so very good. SMGs, so C9 is very good up close body shots, so 26 milliseconds slower than the fastest at 220, so that's still really good. Mid-range falls off a little bit harder than some of the other guns, but so 15, 20 meters. But then at long range, it's the best, the fastest time to kill. So very good up close. It's a little bit weak at mid-range, but then the best at long range. Jackal, same thing, very good up close, slightly slower than the C9, but mid-range, it's the best, but then has a fall off here, and then very good at longer range too. So So it's not the best up close, but very good at mid-range, and then a little bit fall off there, but very good overall. KSV, again, same thing. The second fastest, so within 5 milliseconds of the fastest time to kill, which is basically unnoticeable. So very good. Second fastest time to kill up close, but again, at mid-range falls off a little bit and then picks back up at long range. But headshots, terrible. Not going to be hitting all the headshots anyway, but even if you did, it's terrible for headshots. Compact 92 is the fastest up close because it has a fast fire rate, obviously. A lot more forgiving as well, so very fast time to kill up close, 220, and very good at every other range too. May not be the fastest, but I mean 3 milliseconds here, that's pretty much the same. And then 30 milliseconds there, 11 milliseconds there, so it's very fast at any range compared to the SMGs. Very fast fire rate. PP19 is not the greatest up close, so 68 milliseconds slower, but mid-range is good, and then falls off at longer ranges. So 76 plus 8, so 85 milliseconds slower than the fastest at long range. So definitely more mid-tier, not as good as these other ones. Tanto 22, same thing, 272 milliseconds, so 52 milliseconds slower than 220, but still pretty fast, but falling off a little bit more than some of the other guns. And then at longer range, again, same thing, not as good. So 52 milliseconds slower again. So still competitive, still usable for sure, but it does have a slower fire rate too. So if you're missing shots, it's going to fall off. So it's not that great to begin with, and then if you're missing shots, it's going to be even worse. So definitely probably one of the worst SMGs, unless the accuracy is really good. LMGs, GPM G7, very good up close. So within 24 milliseconds, the fastest there. 8 milliseconds there. Falls off a little bit at this 5 meter range, but then again, 10 milliseconds slower there. So very good gun overall at any range. PU-21 is the fastest out to 45 meters at 240 milliseconds. Not by much though, so 24 milliseconds, 18 milliseconds, not that big a difference, but it is the fastest. Then at mid range, it's the worst, but then at long range, it's the best. So. And then XMG is good at every range, very good within 18 milliseconds, the fastest at mid-range, and then within 24 milliseconds at long range. So pretty much all the same on the LMGs, except the PU-21 falls off a bit hard in the mid-range. Marksman rifles, so it doesn't seem to be very worthwhile to go for headshots except with the Sarkov 7.62, because pretty bad time to kills for headshots. AK-973 is pretty bad, pretty much at every range except long range. It's really good at long range, second fastest time to kill, but that's 70 plus meters, so everywhere else it's pretty bad, even compared to the other Marksman rifles. DM10 is the fastest up close to the body, 200 milliseconds, time to kill out to 25 meters, and then it's mid beyond that range, so 100 milliseconds slower there than the fastest, and then within 100 milliseconds there, so 92. Best up close, mid at long. Mid to medium to long range. SWAT 5.56, not that great up close either, so 139 milliseconds slower than the fastest. Good here in the small 5 meter range compared to the 300 fastest there, but bad all around there, and then it does the fastest time to kill at long range, so beyond 70 meters it's the best marksman rifle, but everywhere else it's pretty bad compared to the other marksmans. Sarkov 7.62, only one-shot headshot potential out to 35 meters. So best marksman rifle if you're hitting headshots, but a little bit slower at body shots. Still the second fastest though, so probably the best overall marksman rifle if you're going for headshots because it's only 100 milliseconds slower than the fastest time to kill DMR out to 25 meters. And then it's the fastest at mid-range, and then within 100 milliseconds at long range. So probably the best overall marksman for pure time to kill potential if you can hit headshots. And then you got your sniper rifle, so LR 7.62 is a one-shot anywhere out to 75 meters, and then head, upper, torso, one shot as well, but torso and below, it's going to be 2 shots, which makes it very, very slow time to kill because it only has 39 rate of fire. So LW3A1, one-shot headshot to the head and upper torso at any range, but doesn't have one-shot kill potential to the lower torso. So always going to be 2 shots to the body, lower body, which is very slow because it's 45 rate of fire. And then the SVD has one-shot kill potential out to 50 meters for upper torso and head. Head always, so always a one-shot to the head, but the upper torso only goes out to 50 meters, so It's the only marksman rifle that has a drop off for the upper torso, but it has a much faster fire rate, 120 rounds per minute. But then body shots, so 2-shot kill everywhere here. So obviously not going to compete with the 1-shot kill potential, but when it's competing with their 2-shot potential, it's much faster. 2 to 3 times faster. So 500 milliseconds is going to be the fastest time to kill at long range if you're hitting body. But it doesn't have that 1-shot kill potential like these do at the longer ranges. So yeah, that's it for the time to kill. It just helps me to put these charts together. That way I know how certain guns perform, or if I'm using a gun, how to get the most out of it. Work in progress, so there's still some stats missing for like battle rifles, pistols, and that kind of stuff. So I'll be updating as new information comes in, but I probably won't be doing videos unless there's like seasonal updates or major balancing changes, that kind of stuff. So, but like I said, I didn't buy the game, don't plan on buying the game, so I was going to have to rely on outside information. So it may not always be right away, but I'll try to get it updated as quickly as possible as new information comes in. But yeah, let me know down in the comments what you guys think of these charts, if it helps you or not. If there's anything missing from these charts that you think would make them better, worth the time to put into it. But yeah, that's it. Hopefully it helped you guys. I'll leave a link in the description, like I said, to truegamedata.com, since he gathers all the stats, puts in all the work, and then also to the spreadsheet. So you can keep an eye on it as I update it. Like I said, I'm not going to be doing videos all the time, but I will be updating it as new information comes in. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.